That's one card down. It shocks himself to 9. Here's the Ascendancy. I'm going to say okay. He's got one card. Better be a cantrip if he wants to keep going. What's up, Coolius? This is him bringing back the Stitch? No, he's going for a Thought Scour first. Interesting. So he's not interested in the Stitcher. He's not interested in his Stitchers. He's going to try to get there just on a Birds. And I admire that. That's reasonable. The thing he literally just drew a random card. Okay, it was a lucky Face Stitch. I was hoping he got the Foothills. So he drew a random, did get the looting. Lucky, lucky. Let's see what you can do with it. He's gonna dredge. What's up, Air Vents? You feel like the deck runs more smoothly with the Tarmogoyf backup plan? I would agree with you, Overmaster. I've liked the Tarmogoyf backup plan. Alright, and yeah, you didn't get there, did you? Alright, Kazali Pride Mage is huge. We just answer the Ascendancy and then we're golden. I told you this card is great. If anybody was curious how good Kazali Pride Mage is for our deck, this is hopefully showcasing that. Alright, he's had enough. So, guys, did you know that Kazali Pride Mage wins games? He's had enough. And there's a lot of reasons why I just don't like the Birds version. Like, I was going to try to, of course, interact with the Birds with some tapping. I just don't like this version of the deck that I play. These silences did nothing. He didn't have any protection for the Ascendancy. That's why I run a lot of protection spells for the Ascendancy. People will definitely in Modern have options to bring in for this card. If not game 1, they're going to have a game 2. Where's his Face Shields? Where's his Swan Songs? Where's the protection for the Ascendancy? This is your bread and butter. This is so important. I hate to be so critical on my opponent. It's not my opponent's fault because it's not his deck. Okay? I'm trying to prove a point with that statement. It's not my opponent's fault because this is not really his deck. He didn't design this. This is the same, 75 we saw that guy took to Star City 23rd place. There's nothing wrong with using somebody else's deck, but it's just like, we have a huge advantage because I play Ascendancy and I know his 75 cards. Alright. Advantages to brewing your own decks. Your opponents don't know your 75. He had no idea I was going to try to purge his Ascendancy, or Kazali Pride Mage's Ascendancy. Face Shield is one of the only ways to protect it from a Kazali. You can't Swan Song this. He would have had to have Face Shield. It literally says win the game. How do you feel about the Life from the Loam? I wasn't really impressed with the Corthian. Like, you guys yesterday were telling me that makes him go infinite. Did my opponent go infinite? He also saw a ton of cards, yet the Faithless Lootings gave him a tremendous amount of card disadvantage. A tremendous amount. The Faithless Lootings and the Loam, he never really did anything with the Loam. So, I don't think I'm wrong in feeling like there are advantages to my version. I'm sure there's matchups where his version's better. I'm sure I just didn't see why. And again, this isn't directed at my opponent. This is directed at the fact that the opponent is using somebody else's deck. He's not using his Magic deck. He's likely just copy-pasted. Copy-paste-arino. That doesn't mean he's not going to become a good pilot someday. But him just auto-scooping to this Pride Mage was just kind of premature, I think. He wasn't dead on board. I had to attack 2 more times. So that's another hint to me that he just doesn't really know his outs in his deck. He could have top deck a Wish and still killed us. So I think that scoop was very premature for a Modern League match. That's another dead giveaway that's probably not his list. Premature surrendering means he doesn't know that he has outs. He absolutely has outs. I'm not even using his deck, but since I play Ascendancy, I know he has outs. He could have certainly drawn to another tutor. He could have just drawn another Ascendancy. And he had flashback spells. So he could have triggered it. But that's enough criticism for that deck list for now. I'm not criticizing my opponent. It's not his fault because it's not his deck. You understand that phrase? I know I've used that before on the stream, but if you're new to the stream, that's my feeling. I don't brew not just because it's cool, the cool kids thing to do. I don't brew just because I enjoy it about Magic. I almost enjoy brewing more than I enjoy playing Magic itself. There are huge advantages to brewing. You understand your deck. Other people at the tournament don't know your deck. Those are two huge advantages. Like, if you're going to play poker, doesn't it behoove you for your opponents not to be able to card count or know exactly what's in your hand? Like, if your opponents know that your hand is a pair of aces and a, I don't know, or like a full house. Like, if they know your hand is a full house, aren't they going to play a little differently? Aren't they going to bet a little different? So in Magic, why would I want to play a deck that says, oh, by the way, my hand is, probably a Planeswalker and some things that search at lands, i.e. Tron. Why do you want to be so polarized? Why do you want to just spoil the spirit that is Magic, which is you can build your own deck. You can do your own thing here. You can be your own. This Magic is a wonderful thing because you get to do your own thing. Why do you want to do somebody else's thing? Do your own thing. Anyway, that's my little rant that I have for when you're gonna just copy paste or reno somebody else's deck list. It's not advantageous in the long run, unless you're willing to be devoted to the deck and learn it and become a good pilot. Then that's the exception. But that guy probably was just a copy paste to reno since he just scooped when he had outs. Anyway, enough about that rant. Let's play another match. Just hopefully, you guys don't have to agree with that. You can be like, Spawn, I don't agree. I'm sure the people that didn't agree have already left, but understand where I'm coming from. I don't brew just because it's cool or, people want to come watch my brews. I brew because it is an advantage. This isn't poker. You can play your own deck of cards. I'm not limited to aces and jacks and kings and queens. There's a huge, one of the awesome things about Magic, when you compare it to other trading card games, there's a huge card pool. There's a huge card pool. And if you're really clever and you really think up something neat, how the hell are they supposed to know what you're doing just by the first land you play or first spell you play? How are they supposed to know? I'm sure at some point he guessed that I have Knight in the deck. Did we ever cast Knight? No. I hinted at Knight. We have a mana base that looks like Knight of the Reliquary. Did he see the retreat? Yes. And if he does his research, he might guess that we're running the Knight retreat. But does he know that I run Thieves' Fortune? Does he know that I run Logic Knot? I think not. Let's join. Think Twice does something more. I think the Think Twice is just fine. Love the hat. It's cold. It's just a hat. Just a beanie. I'm glad you like it. This is the beanie I normally snowboard in, so this is kind of my snowboarding look. See how I haven't really gelled the hair? It's just kind of because it's been inside of a hat. I'm trying to impress us tonight, I guess. I would keep this. Yeah, it's a 4-lander, but it's got half the combo. It's got a cantrip that we can hopefully make something happen. I oftentimes keep really land light openers when this deck really does want to have that extra mana. Let's see the... we did say good luck, have fun, and have fun. Alright, another Ascendancy player, right? Alright, Tarmor Armorgoyf. I would almost just, it's not too greedy to do this. We'll get a basic, and we'll Serum. Airvent says, you played this at all or just brewed it? I brewed it this week. Last stream. Airvents, I'm sorry I missed your comment. That's very relevant here. I just brewed this deck, but I know it inside and out, and I've been messing around with this concept for a while, so I'm certainly not... I don't think I'm new to Nightfall anymore. I would say last stream I felt much more new to it. I'm feeling a lot less new. Now, you can keep the Serum Visions, because we could just play basic Forest to slam the Tarma Armagoyf. The Goofy Goyf. Definitely want to bottom this. Serum Visions at least gives us a little control over what we're drawing into. This is a lot of mana, unfortunately. The Serum Visions gives me a little control over my draws. I'm not an advocate for Visions. I don't like the card. I wish we had something better like Preordained, but alas, We do not. All right. So, we're playing against Storm. And here's, I'm going to stop him right here. I know exactly what he's playing. I know the 75. Again, just to kind of curtail off of what I was saying at the end of last match, I know exactly what version he is. If he's the Thoughtscour version, there's going to be 2 Desperate Ravings in this list. There's going to be 3 Passing Flames in this list. There will be 1 to 2 Grape Shots. That's the only thing I'm not sure about. There might be 1 Grape Shot. There could be 2 Grape Shots. So I know 59 cards in his list. And you know, he could be budget on his mana base. That also changes. But I essentially know this guy's 75. I know his sideboard plan is Empty the Warrens. I'm going to be mindful of that. There's a huge advantage when your opponents don't brew. He's told me his hand is a pair of... It's probably a really good hand. In poker terms, his hand is maybe a full house. Because I don't have much interaction in this hand. I'm not saying we're going to win this just because I know exactly what he's up to. But I know exactly what he's up to. Where's the advantage in that, you know? Just don't understand why people don't brew more. Makes me upset. So, if we think he's slamming the, likely he would have slammed the, if he had it, he would have slammed the Pyromancer's Ascension. You could just play out the Tarmogoyf and, you know, hope that he's not ready next turn. He is going to 6 cards with an Electromancer. It might behoove us to hold the Logic Knot, maybe buys us 1 turn, then we can play Tarmogoyf and hopefully draw a Spell Snare. You got some options here. Either line is terrible, and we'd probably have to go to game 2 very shortly. But that doesn't mean I don't know what's going on. It doesn't mean I can't win the next 2 games. I know exactly what's going on here, and I know exactly how I want to board. Volume muted is this Reliquary combo. Yes, this is Nightfall. Kobe Delight says, I have no clue how this deck works. What is the purpose of Logic Knot? Logic Knot is just going to be a counter spell here. It's basically a mana leak, because we'll crack Forest and we'll delve 3 cards. He's got like all these permanents for us. Like this is the only thing we're going to lose if we, for our Tarmogoyf's sake, is Sorcery. We can get that back. Sure. So he wasn't ready to go off. He just wanted to slam the Electro. Now, if I had removal for the Electromancer, by golly, you know, I would have just toasted it immediately. And we have some main deck. And we have some more sideboard ways to answer the Electromancer. Funny story, my Celestial Purges exile Electromancer, and also they hit the they will also hit the Pyromancer Ascension. So Pyromancer's Ascension. So this is a very flexible sideboard card. It is black or red. So you can get Liliana's with it, you can get Karanos's with it. I'm surprised we don't see more people running Purge. You can hit an Eidolon with it, it's not great against Eidolon. You know, there's a lot of creatures, obviously most of the creatures in Burn outside of like the Nicodle versions, you'll get with a Purge. So, you know, this is a fine sideboard card. I don't know why more people don't run it. I mean, like the way Modern has looked, I almost wish I could main deck this, but I can't. It's not that universal. So he's not ready to go off. We're just gonna probably end step crack the Forest. Yep, getting in there, Electroman. You got it. Didn't realize Logic Knot had Delve. It does. I kind of want the Breeding Pool here, but it's probably correct to get the Hallowed Fountain. If we want to play Tarmogoyf, we'll probably just play Forest anyway. We'll get the Hallowed Fountain. So, you know, now do we want to continue to hold up the Permission, or do you want to slam Knight and hope for the combo next turn? You know, we have some options. My favorite option, actually, I just saw it. My favorite line is Fetch First. Yeah, my favorite line is Fetch First. The reason you want to Fetch First is because I want him to be wary of counter magic because we don't have very much. I actually want to hint to the opponent. I know this sounds awkward. It's not something you normally want to do. But in this case we do, and plus if we're going to fetch anyway, you don't want to fetch after resolving a Serum Visions. It ruins the scry if you want to leave something on top. So it looks a little peculiar, but there's a method to that madness. You could keep the Kessig, but I'm going to bottom. We're going to top another Serum, and we're going to hold up the Knot for another turn. The Knot is much, much higher now. Our Logic Knot, we can Knot for a full 5 now. So it's a much more powered up Mana Leak. Very much so. It's 2 whole points of mana better than Mana Leak right now. It's awesome. The blue cost, of course, is a concern. That comes up some games. And yeah, you know, we're also maybe shrinking the Tarmogoyf a little, but you know what? He's got land. And, you know, there's an Ascension. Told you, there's the first Ravings. There's going to be 1 more Ravings in his list. Told you. I'm just, earlier, I don't know if you were listening, but I told you there's probably 1 to 2 Ravings in this thing. So, you know,